They could carry it with them for weeks, months, even years. All that time, we may never know that the children we love, roughly 1 in 10, are hiding the scars of abuse.
All children can be at risk for sexual abuse.
A lot of times the perpetrator is somebody that the child knows.
Situations where children have been molested by family members.
And while we tend to think of sexual abuse as occurring with girls, it really happens with boys very frequently as well.
People don't think a whole lot about the prevalence of it.
It's important that we as a community realize all the long-term systemic effects it can have on our community so that we do something to help prevent it.
Helping children avoid abusive situations and helping them on the path to recovery if they've become victims. That is why we have a Child's Voice. I'm Christina Mendonca on behalf of a Child's Voice Child Advocacy Center in Social Circle, Georgia. One of the most crucial steps in helping our children is recognizing those often subtle signs that something is wrong, talking to them, listening to them, and acting quickly.
We want to make sure that the child is our first priority, to reassure the child that they're okay.
Child advocates like Lindsay Jones are the first line of support for children and their families. This is where they come to start the healing. But some children never make it here because their caregivers don't recognize the signs of abuse.
Signs that I look out for is some overtly sexual behaviors in kids.
Kelsey Lehman is one of the trusted therapists who receives long-term cases from a Child's Voice.
If they are doing some sexual behaviors outside of what's kind of developmentally appropriate, that can be a warning. If they've lost interest in things that they once really loved, sleep problems, if they're really scared to go to sleep at night, just things that are really out of the normal for them, those can definitely be things to look out for.
The key is for the right people to know what they are. You know, your teachers, your social workers, the coaches, those that have contact with children outside of the family.
Some of the physical signs include bruising, marks on their bodies. The majority of symptoms would be more emotional and behavioral: withdrawal, depression, anxiety.
If untreated, these symptoms can have devastating effects on children, carrying over into adulthood. Dr. Jordan Greenbaum at Children's Healthcare in Atlanta has partnered with the Child's Voice to help treat cases with the utmost urgency.
The psychological impact is one of the major long-lasting impacts of long-standing depression, difficulty with social relationships, post-traumatic stress disorder, and then the long-term physical effects. A Child's Voice provides support and helps a family understand what the process is and see a way out. They begin to see that perhaps their child is not the only child that's been through this, that there are ways that their child can be helped.
Once diagnosed, the counseling and therapy process can begin. A Child's Voice ensures that children are placed with deeply committed, caring counselors, and they are there as long as it takes to make sure the children and their families find their way.
I love being a therapist. I love a long-term therapeutic relationship with a child and seeing them grow to the point where they start expressing those emotions that have been suppressed a little bit.
I can't imagine my child living in an environment or a world where people like us didn't exist, because I think we're far better off having people that are there to help these children than not.